Had it ready. All right, you can take your seat.
All right, Assalamu alaikum, shalom, welcome. We are very honored to have so many guests from throughout the communities here in South Florida, and particularly our friends from Temple Beth Am joining us to honor Tahir Bai. And we will begin the program today with Mahdi Abbas, who will do a reading from the Quran, first in Arabic and then in English translation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal asr. Inna insana lafi khusr. Inna ladina amanu wa amilu salihat. Wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr. In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful. By time, verily humanity is at a loss, except for those who have believed and done righteous deeds, and who have advised each other to truth and advised each other to patience.
Thank you, Mahdi Bai. So I'll just do a very brief welcome on behalf of the community. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Iqbal Akhtar, and I'm a professor at Florida International University, and I work with the Templeton Religion Trust. And we're very honored to sort of be able to come together, especially in these very difficult times after October 7th, as Muslims and Jews and Christians coming together to not only understand each other, but also to be able to honor important people within our community. And Tahir Bai, of course, was one of the leading members of our community, who gave so generously of his time and his ability to the community in developing it. And there's one of the things that we see, unfortunately, a lot of times is once people are passed, we know all the good things that they've done. People come out and they say, you know, I knew him and he did this for me and he did that. So he was extremely generous in terms of supporting so much of what this community means here in South Florida. And one of the things that we want to be able to do here is to be able to share that across faith. And I think that's one of the things that this initiative, the Interfaith initiative, is trying to do, is trying to show that we have a common bond through our faith, through belief in God, through shared service to humanity. And these are the things that link us, despite our differences, despite different perspectives in terms of creed. The acts of service are an important vocabulary, spiritual vocabulary, that we're able to connect with, and it's something that connects us to our humanity. And unfortunately, this is a time of remembrance. There's also times of joy, birth, marriage. All of these are really important milestones that all of humanity shares in different ways. And so I think this is an important time for us to be able to share across that humanity. There's a verse in the Quran that talks about the idea that people who die in the way of God are not really dead. And I think that's important for us to remember as well, that there is a life beyond this, and the good deeds that Dr. Bai did throughout his life is something that is going to be remembered not only by the community and the family, but it's something that spiritually has shifted and changed our reality, and something that inshallah he will be honored in the next life as well. So with that, I wanted to also thank you all for coming, and particularly Sir Temple Beth Am. Todd has been amazing, Joanne, the rabbis from Temple Beth Am, who have been extremely supportive of us, the Unbiased Initiative that we're working together with. All of this wouldn't have been possible. Of course, Jimmy Bai and IJ hosting us, and the wonderful food that's going to be we're going to have after this. But it's just important, I think, for us to be able to remember that how we live our lives and the way that we touch people throughout our lives has an impact. So everything we say, we do, and even beyond that, even what we think about others and how we relate to them going throughout the world has an impact that goes far beyond us. And that's why we're all gathered here today. So with that, I will give it to Todd for a few reflections. Thank you.
Thank you, Iqbal. And thank you to the IJA, NIDA, Abbas, Zain, members of the clergy, to all of Tahir's friends and family, and to my friend, my brother, Tahir Raza. If Tahir were here today, I think he would lean over into my ear and whisper, "Toddy, what are you doing at my mosque? And you brought all these Jews with you. Isn't there some other land you can occupy?" It was Tahir's sense of humor that first brought us together almost a decade ago when he moved from Dubai to Miami. We ended up spending a lot of time together, and whenever I got on his nerves, which was quite often, he would remind me with a grin that he would only hang out with me because he didn't know anyone else in Miami. But he had a larger-than-life personality, and he quickly got to know many other people in Miami. But no matter how large his circle grew, he always had a time and a place for me, and he always kept me and my family a part of his life. He would show up at our home unannounced with Tupperwares of new dishes he cooked. He would send greetings on Jewish holidays. He would visit our daughter after she came home from preschool so they could get to know each other. He even texted my wife's father in Pennsylvania on milestone events. He was just truly everywhere. Tahir genuinely loved people, and people genuinely loved Tahir back. It seemed like there was always a friend or a cousin or a relative visiting the Razas from somewhere far away, and people just loved to be around him. It's a testament to Tahir's loving relationship that on the eve of a full-scale war in Lebanon, with relations between Jews and Muslims perhaps at an all-time or near an all-time low, that his memory is what brings us Muslims, Jews, Christians together today. And still, Tahir's ability to bring people together wasn't the result of him pandering or just telling you what you wanted to hear. He was always true to himself. He was dynamic, and he saw nuance where others could not. After October 7th, we had had several discussions and arguments about the Israel-Hamas war. Forcefully but respectfully, he shared with me his thoughts and criticisms of the IDF and the state of Israel. We didn't agree on everything, but we did share an understanding of the humanity of all people deserving of respect. He also told me that he was proud of me for traveling to Israel to try to help people impacted by the conflict. He was passionate about helping those in need. Most recently, Tahir had championed the cause of the Imamiya Medics International to help provide health care to those impacted by the war in Gaza and other hard-to-reach places. But it wasn't the first time that Tahir had sprung to action. When the US withdrew from Afghanistan, Tahir connected with our Rabbi Rachel Greengrass, who's here, to support Afghani refugees who had recently arrived in Miami. And beyond providing material support, he stayed in contact with refugees to help them navigate life in a new country, offering advice, making introductions and connections, and helping them along their way. Tahir's generosity was not limited to these exceptional circumstances. He was generous each and every day of his life. He had his usual spots, and I lost count of the number of times when he secretly offered cash and a handshake to the janitor or the busboy or the people that anyone else might ignore. He saw the humanity in others and tried to lift people up regardless of what they could offer him in return. Above all else, Tahir loved his wife and his sons. He was proud of you, Zain, and he was proud of you, Abbas. He loved the quality time he spent with you all. He routinely would send us pictures of you from your school graduations, your performances, your special trips. We got a stream of content from Tahir on his weeks-long trip to India with you, Abbas, which he cherished those moments traveling to faraway places with you. He would bring Zain to our house for swim lessons, and he was so proud of you for reaching your milestones and developing new skills. He boasted about your future as an engineer, Abbas, and in you, Zain, he saw a tenacious future businessman. And Tahir adored Netta. When the boys were babies, we often saw Tahir more often than Netta. He would often tell us what a tireless and loving mother you were. And as the boys grew up, Tahir always expressed his appreciation for your devotion to your role as a mother. And Tahir ultimately achieved amazing success with his business, but he often said that he could not have done it without you, Netta. He recognized that your steady work as a lawyer allowed Tahir to take on the professional risk of building his own business and gave him the time necessary to get his career off the ground. To me and Lindsay, there were countless times he expressed his gratitude for all that you did. If this terrible tragedy had befallen on anyone else, I know that Tahir would look after their family. So, in honor of his legacy, I call upon our community to look after Tahir's. If we can make an effort to show up, to bring a meal, to share a story, to spoil Abbas and Zain with gifts like he would do for us, we know that is exactly what he would have done for any one of us. Tahir, we love you, we miss you, may your memory be a blessing.
I'm not sure if Khalid Mirza is here. He hasn't made it yet, okay. So I guess now, if Nida, if you would like to say a few words, or if there's anything you would like to say.
I'm not sure I can do a better job than Todd did. That's pretty good. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Hello. I don't know that there's much to say other than thank you. Thank you all for coming out. My boys and I believe that
Can
Tahir's
you
body
please
is.
speak in that?
Sorry, sure. I said my boys and I believe that, as I'm sure we all do, Tahir's body is gone, but he's still with us. He's with us every day. We give him a big hug every night before we go to sleep. We talk to him and remember him all day long. He's not lost for us. He's just here in a different way. And moments like this, in front of you all, took the time out on your Sunday to come here and spend this day with us. These moments really mean a lot to us. And I just can't thank you enough. I know that Tahir loved everyone in this room very dearly, and he loved big. He loved with all his heart. And that's what we have to remember him by. So thank you again. Thank you for coming.
We love you.
Now I would ask Judge Hemmings for a few words.
So you know, Judge Hamming is also a pastor.
Assalamu alaikum. Shalom alaikum. And to my Christian brothers and sisters, it is good to be with you today. Sounds strange to say that, right? It'd be good to be with you. But it's good to be with you because I'd like to speak with you briefly on the topic of the amazing warrior, Tahir. So his name literally means virtuous. Means that his parents named him the virtuous one. And it makes so much total sense that they would have named him that because of everything that he was involved in and everything that he did. So today, in all three in the Christian tradition, today, the 29th of September, is an amazing day that you've chosen to honor him. It's amazing because it's a day on which Christians celebrate Michaelmas. Your friends who are Catholic or who are Anglican or who are Lutheran all celebrate Michaelmas on this day. Or Michael, I guess is how the Quran refers to him in the second surah, the 98th verse, when it talks about him, the Archangel Michael. In Christianity, at events like this, which would be an event of celebration, celebrating the life of this amazing man, we would read from 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter, verses 13 through 17. And Christians would say, brothers and sisters, we do not want you to be uninformed about those who sleep in death, so that you do not grieve like the rest of mankind who have no hope. For we believe that God will bring those who have fallen asleep in him back to life. Today, as we think about Michaelmas and that celebration, as we think about the fact that on this day, the 29th day of September in the year 1779, the United States Army was actually made an official organization on that day. We think about this amazing warrior. Why do I say that? And what type of warrior is that? And what type of warrior was he? So in the Christian tradition and in the Jewish tradition, when the body of our brother is being moved to their final resting place, our Jewish brothers and sisters would often quote from the 91st Psalm, reading verses 9 to 11, which says, "The Lord is my refuge, and you make the Most High your dwelling. No harm will overtake you, no disaster will come near your tent. For he will command his angels, Michael, to guard you in all your ways." You see, on a day like this, it's a day to remember everything that he was, and what made him great was faith, hope, and charity. It was his undying faith in Allah, his undying faith in God, that made him special and different. Because understanding that we're all one, regardless of the backgrounds, the religious backgrounds that we come from, we're all one in God, all loved by God, all cherished by God. And he perhaps understood that more than anyone else. While others may have been talking about Haitian Americans eating pets, Tahir was actually giving philanthropically to the island of Haiti and to other places around the world. It's not political, I'm just saying, just a legitimate thing that I noticed. Where others were lacking in hope for what the future could be like, as Todd spoke about, Tahir seems to have understood that there was hope because of his faith in God. He believed that there was hope if all of us pulled together as warriors, not in terms of carrying weapons of war, but in terms of carrying graciousness and kindness and long-suffering and forgiveness and giving that to our neighbors and to our friends. And then finally, with respect to charity, that seems to have been the unique thing about him, besides being an amazing father and husband and son. He seemed to have this uncanny ability to understand what it meant, what the word charity meant, at the time that it would have been written. So when you look at a religious text or a religious document, you have to use hermeneutics to understand what the word meant. And so with the word that's interpreted as charity in Judaism and in Islam and in Christianity is really the word love, the agape type love of God. And so he understood that because we were all one, that we had to give back to those who were less fortunate economically, those who were less fortunate in terms of their social circumstances. So on today, we thank God for this amazing, happy warrior, this person who understood that his faith in God was paramount, this person who understood that there was always going to be hope even in the time of death, and this person who understood that charity was the most important thing in showing love to one another. I would ask at this time, if you don't think it's weird, if you could turn to your neighbor and say, I love you like Tahir loved all of us. I love you like Tahir loved us. May God bless you. May he cause his faith to shine upon you. May we always come together as the three major Abrahamic faiths as one. May God's light shine upon each and all of us. May we always be kind and show charity one to another. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Pastor. A few words by Maulana Bangalore, who is the resident alim of the mosque here at IJ.
Assalamu alaikum, Sabah khair, and good day to all of you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin Abil Qasim Muhammad. Wa ali tayyibin at-tahirin al-ma'sumin al-khayrin al-fadilin. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. In the name of the One, the Absolute, the Perfect, merciful, compassionate, glorified is the One in whose control is the universe. He has created the life, the death and the life, so that he can test you in your actions as to who is the best in his actions. One of the smallest charity in Islam is a cheerful face. Cheering, smiling is one of the smallest but the greatest of all the charities. And as you see in the picture of Tahir Raza, I have always seen him like that. And always I remember him like that. Nida might have seen different facial expressions, but I have always seen him as he is in the picture. Not only did he himself smile, he took care that the person whom he is addressing also smiles. And you have heard from Todd what kind of speech and what kind of humor he had. But I'm going to just tell you that there are three kinds of people. One who lives for himself, the other one lives for his family, the third one lives for the community. And if you take the fourth one, he lives for humanity. Tahir raised himself up, not from only his individuality, but even from his family, and even from his own community. He went to a greater extent to unite us all together in his commemoration. We can commemorate the death of Tahir, and we can commemorate the life of Tahir. But in reality, it is the life of Tahir which is a legacy not only for the community, but also for the people and his family and also other human beings. I'm a resident alim over here for 30 years. I have not been able to get you to be my friends. I don't even know you. But look at this Tahir. That he was from Dubai. Maybe he did not live here in the United States as long as I have lived. But look at the friends from different corners of life, different religions, different languages, but yet they are joined together in one thing, the integrity of Tahir Raza, the faith of Tahir Raza, the love of Tahir Raza, the generosity he had in himself. Generosity is not only in the material objects we give. Generosity can be in words. Generosity can be in your actions. So I love him, and as his name says, Tahir is virtuous, and Raza is one with whom everyone is pleased. So we are pleased with him. Sarah. Today, being one of the Interfaith, I would just like to explain to you as to what our religion stands for. First of all, Tawheed means the oneness of God is absolute, has no partners, no children, no family. He is above everything, monotheist. He is without any body, shape, form. We pray to him, and whatever you see over here, these are all symbolic as remembrance. We don't worship these things. We worship the one whom we cannot see, whom we cannot hear, but he sees us and hears us. So this is Tawheed. The second thing is the Adl. Adl means that he is just. He has created human beings for a test, and on the day of judgment, he is going to reward us or he is going to punish us. We are common in this, the day of resurrection, the day of judgment. We call it Qayamat. This is the third thing, that there's going to be a doomsday, and after that there's going to be a resurrection, and then the good will be rewarded and the evil will be punished or forgiven, whatever Allah or the Almighty wants. We also believe in 124,000 prophets. the first of whom is Adam. And then we have a series of prophets, and amongst these, the 5 great prophets is Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Prophet Muhammad. We also believe in 124 scriptures. Amongst these 104 scriptures, we have 4 scriptures which are great and which are at large. These are the Torah, which was revealed to Moses, the Psalms of David, Zabur, the Injil or the Gospel of Isa and Jesus, and the last one is Quran, which was revealed to Prophet Muhammad. We believe that everything which was in the past scriptures has been brought together in the Quran. The last prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he did not bring with him a new religion. He just acknowledged the religions before him, the religions of all the prophets, and also the religion of Moses and Jesus and Abraham. The most important part is Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. I heard that cousins always fight. Is it true? I've not seen some, but I have heard a lot of times that brothers and cousins, they fight a lot. So we are cousins because Ibrahim had 2 sons. One of them was Isaac and the other one was Ishmael. And from Ishmael comes Prophet Muhammad, and from Isaac comes Prophet Musa alayhi salam. So the best thing is what we have done. According to this ayat of the Quran and the verse of the Quran, Allah is not going to see and say, oh, you are an American, you have an American passport, so you can go into heaven. Or you are an Indian, you can go now this way. No. Allah will see, or you are a white, or you are a black, or you are colored. No. On the day of judgment, the only thing we have with us is our faith and our actions. That's why the verse at the chapter of Surah Asr says, Wal Asr, and by the time you have spent on this earth, Innal insana lafi khusr. Verily, the human being is at loss. You're sitting over here, if you don't get anything, you're at loss. And if you sleep, you're at loss. So if we sleep 8 hours or 10 hours a day, if we sleep 10 hours a day, or if we waste 2 hours a day in the traffic, then we are losing. So we have already lost 12 hours and now we have only half a life. So all human beings are at loss except those who have faith. Now those who have faith, even if they sleep, they are faithful. And those who have faith, even if they sleep for a good cause, they are doing a virtuous deed. So our faith and our virtuous deeds not only stay with us while we are sleeping, but they are carried with us to our graves. And maybe on the day of judgment, we are resurrected with these good deeds and iman. I don't know your faith. You don't know my faith. Only my actions can show you my faith. But the real faith which I have, you will not be able to know it, and only you can feel it, you can see it by my expressions. So the second thing, the fourth thing is the risalat or nabuwat. To believe in 124,000 prophets, especially the last prophet. And after prophethood, we have successorship. That is the succession of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this succession is in 12 imams. Just like there are 12 tribes of Bani Israel, the children of Isaac, and there are 12 disciples of Jesus. Similarly, there are 12 successors of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the first of whom is Ali ibn Abi Talib, and the last is the Imam Mahdi, ajalallahu farajahu sharif. Now, the last Imam Mahdi, when he is going to appear, we say appear because he is in occultation. And when he comes, we have the arrival of Jesus from the heavens. And in the Torah also you have a person who is going to come on the last day, who is going to establish justice and fairness on earth and remove the torments of the people. Now, the Hindu religion also believes in the one who's going to come in the last days of the earth, and he is known as Kalki Maharaj. So every religion believes in one person who is going to arrive on the last day of the earth and establish the truth and the justice on earth. So why wait for him? Let us just start establishing this justice, establishing this truth. Let us forget who we are and join hands in humanity. First we are human beings, then we are going to be anyone else. So let us join hands in the remembrance and the legacy of Tahir Raza and say, we are together to establish justice, to establish the truth, to condemn the evil and the oppressor. May Allah bless the family of Nida. I know you are never going to forget him. We are not going to forget him. But we will remember him sometimes. You are going to remember him always. You are going to remember him in your children. You are going to remember him in your house. His remembrance is something which is going to even benefit you, because whenever you remember him, you will also be forced by his legacy to do something what he did. So you are also going to extend your hand towards the others, and you are also going to, inshallah, you are already generous, but you are going to be more generous in the future. I give my condolences to the family, and I ask Allah to give them patience and sabr, and may Allah reward them for what they have suffered. And as the last thing which I'm going to tell you, that after death, we believe in life, and the place where our soul goes is known as the purgatory or the barzakh, which is known as the waiting period. Here the soul is going to stay till the day of judgment, and then the soul is going to be returned to our bodies, which are going to be resurrected. This is after death. Can anything be done for those who are dead? Yes. Whatever good deeds we do for the dead, his account book is still open. He will receive our good deeds, and his amal, or his actions, which are recorded in a book, will increase. So I do request you in the end to pray for him with a chapter of the Quran, which is known as Fatiha. This chapter has been mentioned by Torah and by the Testament, that Ibrahim said, "O Ismail, you are going to be a great nation, and you will have in you 12 princes, and the last one is going to be given the 7 seals." The 7 seals are the 7 sentences of this particular chapter, which was given to Prophet Muhammad. And the ayat of the Quran says, وَآتَيْنَاكَ سَبْعًا مِنَ الْمَثَانِي وَالْقُرْآنِ الْعَظِيمِ. We have given you the 7 seals and the Quran. That means that these are special. So the first one says, in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. The second sentence says, all praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. And the third sentence says, the most merciful, the most compassionate. And the fourth sentence says, Malik Yawmiddin, the master of the day of judgment. And the fifth sentence says, only him we worship, and only him we ask for help. And the sixth sentence says, Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim, guide us or keep us guided on the right path, on the straight path. And the last sentence, seventh sentence is, Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim, ghayra al-maghdubi alayhim waladdallin, the path of those upon whom you have showered your blessings and bounties, and not the path of those upon you whom you have sent your wrath, or who have gone misguided or gone astray. So Allah bless you all for coming, and I thank you very much for listening to me. And it is very boring to listen to a religious topic nowadays. Allah bless you all and keep you all smiling, and may Allah bless Nida and his family.
So I would like to call Rabbi Barris as well to give a concluding prayer, and then the final words will be by Jimmy Bai. One of the things that Tahir Bai, the community here, the community of Batham share is belief in social justice and in trying to repair the world and make it a better place. And that's, I think, a common theme, to have that hope and for us to be able to live a life in which we're able to make the world a better place. And I think it's through those values that we are able to develop these connections and hopefully make a better world for future generations. So with that, I will turn it over to the Rabbi.
I never met Tahir, but I know Todd and Lindsay very, very well. I know their spirit of interfaith and how important it is to them, and how important Todd's relationship was to Tahir. And knowing how special Todd is gives me an insight into what a wonderful person Tahir was, and what a blessing it was for every day of his life, and for all of you to have known him and learned from him. You know, I don't love to be around people who are, with different political feelings and opinions, but I like very much to be around people with different spiritual ways of practicing, to be around holy people, and to share our quest for truth and for love and for friendship. And so to be here now, our communities, it has taken too long, but it is very special, and I hope that it will endure and continue. Before there ever was, in the world of monotheism, before there ever was
Judaism or Christianity or Islam, before there ever was Torah or New Testament or Quran in the monotheistic world, all there was Abraham. And Abraham was a person who was on a mission, along with his wife, in our tradition, with his wife Sarah, to teach monotheism, to teach the truth about one God to the world. And he didn't do very well. People weren't interested in what he had to say. He would dig wells, and he would go to where people hung out at the wells, and he would try to teach. And his enemies would fill up the wells, and they weren't interested. But comes in the book of Genesis 3 people who show that they are interested in hearing what Abraham has to say. They look like normal people. And they come and they listen and they hear Abraham's talk about how everything in the world is not from an intermediary, but everything is a gift from God. But it turns out that the only 3 people in Abraham's day that were really interested in hearing about this turned out to be 3 angels. In our tradition, one of whom was Michael. Gabriel, Michael, and Raphael. And those 3 were the ones who were interested in saying, before there was Judaism, Christianity, or Islam, when all there was in the world of monotheism was just Abraham, the 3 of us are interested in hearing what you have to say. So what we learned was that when we can put everything else aside, sit down and eat with each other, and be willing to look into what it means to have only one God, then at that moment, we cease to be Christians, Muslims, or Jews, and we become angels. So today, Tahir has elevated to the heavens above, and on behalf of our community, it's an honor to be here to say, Oseh Shalom B'Mamav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, V'al Kol Ha'olam Kulo. May the one who makes peace in the heavens welcome Tahir into the heavens above, and let us say, Amen.
Thank you very much, Rabbi. And to conclude, we'll have Jimmy Bai say a few words on behalf of the association, and we hope that we are able to continue Tahir Bai's legacy with the work that he did, the hope that he helped to generate, and the spirit of friendship that he helped to cultivate over his lifetime. Jimmy Bai.
Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Good evening. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most magnificent, the most merciful. It's really a tough job here. After having so many of you, and God bless, I did not know who would have taken the trophy. Great speakers, religious, spiritual, pouring your heart out. For a kid who was like my son. And now at the end, all I could say was, thank you to all of you coming here, participating in it. So some of you may not know, while we have our seniors sitting here, all the way in the back, you will see like about 6 or 8 of these young girls or boys are sitting, professional lawyers, and finances champion, business people, accounting, CPS, and it really is good to see them, to take interest, because the interest is that my, young nephew, Tahir. The strangest thing about this young guy was that 7, 8, 9 years ago when he first came here, he always sounded so mature. And it's no joke when I say this. And his talks, his discussions, and you say, yeah, but if you want to we want to set up something, it's going to be so much. He says, we'll cross that hurdle. Let's go in details, let's plan. always amazing. And, you know, we just went on so many topics, always. And his thing was how and what we could do to give back, how and what we could do to help. I mean, I miss that. I miss that a lot. But alhamdulillah, mashallah, there, two of his boys are here. Nida is here. And we are here for you, all of you. You're never alone. So let's just keep these good things going. And remember, it's nothing but humanity. Obviously, oneness of God is always there. And it's nothing but humanity. That's what we could learn from him. And let us put it together and let it go. Never let it float, especially in today's world. In today's world, I think there is more needed than any time else. Innocent lives for God is innocent life. Didn't matter what color or religion. Human being has to be a human being. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming, for your prayers. There's some food in the back, and I hope you can join us in breaking bread together and hopefully continuing the conversation with each other. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, exactly.
Take a picture with Baba. Yeah. Huh? No. Oh, okay. Hold it. That's right. Oh.
I'm not taking you. Yeah, we're taking it.
Yeah, we're taking it home, but right now it's here. We'll take it home. We have to eat good food. Okay, bus. Thank you so much. You were excellent. I don't need as much. So much, and thank you for coming.
Sorry for your loss.
Thank you for coming.
Of course.
So we are,
These are mosques.
yeah, that's the replica of the mosque.
This is.
That's the
So you think
Are there a lot of Shia?
Not as many. Yeah, mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I go to Shia Mosque. I go to the Ansar Mosque. Yeah,
So they're from
yeah.
Not true. It's got an incredible sense of humor.
It takes a long time to get used to. That's my wife.
I learned a lot about the podcasting. It's very, 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 very very interesting to do the challenges. Yeah, exactly. Do you know Professor Misbah? No. So he's the head of the Jaffa Center for Muslim Law Studies at FIU.
Oh, okay.
He's a rabbi. Yeah, exactly, that's right.
Get back to work. Sorry.
साले को मनाना ये चीज़ पूछती मैं आपको बता नहीं सकती आपको सिर्फ इंग्लिश में देनी चाहिए You know, it was such a sweet information. बहुत अच्छा आपकी इंग्लिश की तो बच्चों वाले सुनते थे मन पीछे किसी और उस दिन भी जो आपने स्पीच दी बहुत अच्छी यू नो एक्सेलेंट इतना इनको सारी मतलब इंटरेस्ट करना इंफॉर्मेशन देना इट वाज पाकिस्तान
I'm not just saying physically, I'm talking as far as the outside.
Thank you so much.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that's right.
At a board retreat before I came here, so yes, you didn't get that. You said people pick up the call. I said I need to know what
but he's also trying to correct. He also acted, he has, but
This one? Yes. My sister did that. I think she was 15.
No way.
I'm serious. Small blanket and this. We didn't know what to do. We always sleep on that blanket
Oh, yeah, for your wife. No, we have to figure there. Yeah, please.
Are you?
Yeah. Okay. Right, exactly.
She was the head of the I told her this time, and I
Jesse, thank you again for hosting everything.